It is now 7:31 on January 13th, 2026, and I am officially opening the meeting of the public meeting of the Boxborough Zoning Appeals Board. And I'm going to call out the names of the board members, and board members, please acknowledge your presence when I call your name for the record. Mark White.
White present.
Sean McCormick.
McCormick present.
Michael Toops.
Michael Toops present.
And Mark Barbadoro present. Is Andrew Tavolacci or Than Stunts here? I don't see them. So let the record show that they're not here yet. Maybe they will show up, hopefully. The first item on the agenda is to review the minutes of December. Oh, Than's here.
Yeah.
Cool. So for the record, Than Stunts has just arrived. First item on the agenda is the meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2025. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes? Would anyone like to propose any amendments to the meeting minutes? I'm hearing none. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved, Michael Toops.
Or a second?
Second.
Okay, approved by Michael, second by Than. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Mark White?
I'll recuse myself on that one. I wasn't at the meetings.
Okay. So I'll losing the members here. Okay, I can see him again. Than Stunts?
Stunts, aye.
Michael Toops?
Michael Toops, aye.
Sean McCormick?
McCormick, aye.
And Mark Barbadoro, aye. Okay. The next item on the agenda is, get the agenda up, sorry, is going to be a public hearing in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, Boxborough Zoning Bylaws, Section 4.1.3A, Residential Uses, 2.2, more.
Oh, I guess you can. Sorry.
Carry on?
No. Yeah, carry on. I saw the 7:35 public hearing, but not the 7:30.
Okay. Special permits. The Boxborough Board of Appeals will conduct a public hearing to review the application for a special permit submitted by property owner Kathleen Vorse to declare an existing single family a two-family dwelling. The property is located at 555 Liberty Square Road in the Agricultural Residential District. And I saw that we have Kathy Vorse here. Happy New Year, Kathy.
Happy New Year, guys.
I'd like it if you could just give us a presentation, a brief description of what you're proposing. You've got a nice older home on a lot of land on Liberty Square.
Exactly. This house is listed even in the Historical Commission records as an 1890 dwelling. So it definitely predates the 1965 adoption of zoning, which then and now allows the conversion of single-family residence into a two-family. This project has been a 40-year project for me. It's a very small house, 18 by 24 footprint that had a shed connecting to a barn. And over those 40 years, I have finished up the house, lived there for most of 30 years, and then started to improve the barn, putting an office in there so I could truly separate personal space and office. I have a pile of permits that you can see. I think Alec has done a wonderful summary of my application and the details. I think there are a couple of outstanding questions, which I've addressed with him. I note that he said that I have 3,300 square feet of gross floor area. I have probably 2,300 square feet of gross floor area. There's a crawl space under the barn and the connecting area. The basement, there's probably 2 areas, about 4x4, where I, a 5'2" person, can actually stand upright. The rest of it was a dirt basement with lots of ledge. Good old Boxborough, should be named Roxborough. But, you know, it has served us well. So 2,300 is the number. A couple of issues came up with the planning board about lighting. I have no uplighting, no spotlights, no runway lights. All my outdoor lighting is kind of Michelin styled and all shielded down, had little roofs on them, so it's all downlight. Parking came up. I have dozens of family members, and I have off-street parking for all of them in the event we get together. So no shortage of parking, both gravel, paved, and grass parking, but nobody parks on the street. Water quantity. I have a small 10,000 gallon above ground pool. If I turn the water on at night, it'll be full by noon the next day. So I have plenty of water. And those are the other issue that is still a question to me. And I had a rough day today where I was out most of the day and unable to get to Jim Gareffi's office hours at the town hall. But I have had my 2-compartment tank installed. That was initially a contentious situation. But I, in fact, in 1996, when I did a kitchen renovation, was required by the Board of Health to sign an agreement that I would never have more than 3 bedrooms, which was always, you know, my intention anyway. And that was recorded at the Registry of Deeds those number of decades ago. When that was brought to Jim Gareffi's attention by my engineer, he agreed that that would be the probably the linchpin that would exempt me from the current requirements, which have since been liberalized to support the development of ADUs. So Jim quietly told me, after I'd gone through the process, that to kind of accelerate the development of ADUs, that the Board of Health had gone back to the adoption of allowing bedroom restrictions to be recorded as ways to proceed with the septic modifications that would enable someone to have an ADU. As I say, I was unable to get to the town hall today to address Jim, but that system has been installed. I guess Jim is owed an as-built plan, but he has otherwise signed off that everything is in place and functioning and meets his approval. I just don't have the piece of paper to share with you. So Alec may, I don't know. I don't know if you've reviewed this, if you wanted me to get into the nitty gritty of measurements and this and that, but you know, I'm happy to take any questions. Those were the high points that came to me as issues raised by the boards or, you know, various authorities. The building inspector has been through the property, and he was questioning my access and somehow thought that it was just the upstairs of the dwelling that I was renting. And no, it's a total standalone unit, 18 by 24 with a bathroom add-on. It added up to 944 square feet of gross floor area, therefore exceeded the state's limit of 900. Would have worked great under the Boxborough bylaw, but oh well. And so here I am with a fallback position. And those people who served on the planning board with me when we went through the process know it was not my intention to generate additional revenue for the town, but to survive the town's taxes and be able to age in place here in Boxborough. So I've at all times been very candid about that. Questions?
Does the board have any questions? I have some questions. They're just general questions.
Go
But if
for
the
it.
board has- Excuse me?
Go for it. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kathy, I'm gonna check the audience first and get that portion out of
Oh,
the
okay.
way.
Yep.
But then I'm gonna come back with some questions about the project. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask a question or have a general comment? You make those comments to me, the chair, about the project, if you, and I convey them to the applicant or to the board. Anyone have any questions or comments? You can just use the raise hand function. If you can't use the raise hand function, put your camera on and wave your hand and I'll look at you and call you. So
I support, as a neighbor, I support.
what's your name?
I'm Brian McCann. I live across the street.
Brian McCann across the street. Okay. So you're just in general support. So, excellent.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Okay. So Kathy, when you purchased the house, was the barn there?
Yes. I don't know what it dates back to, but I know Arthur Furbish's cousin Frank showed up the first week I bought the property and asked to walk it and said that his mother had been married in my living room in 1910. And the whole thing was as is. It had a little garage that had a Hudson in it. I don't know who got the Hudson, but I got a permit to demolish the garage because it was falling down. But otherwise, everything was there. I've added a couple of sheds, but the barn connector it was an indoor outhouse in the connecting part. So.
Wow. So
Yeah.
is this, are you intending to try and maintain the appearance of it the way it is now, sort of?
Yeah, I want to give it a paint job, but yeah, otherwise, yes.
Cool. And just so I understand, you got a septic Title V permit. You installed the dual tank that the Board of Health wanted you to do. Did you have to expand? That's just general questions. This
Oh, absolutely, Mark, please.
Not kind of deal breaker questions or anything. So,
No,
but
I think
did you have to
I'm
expand the
taking,
system?
you're asking the questions as, putting me through the paces so that the public can also be informed too. And I think
Yeah.
it's a worthwhile educational process because it was an education for me.
Well, I'm getting an education.
Oh,
I may
yeah.
do this someday, so I appreciate it.
Yep.
So did you have to extend the leaching field in addition to the tanks, or were you good with what you had?
No, everything was functioning fine. It turned out that the system, which was installed in 1986, the D box had some concrete deterioration, which was, to be expected. So I had to do a D box upgrade. But the system has never failed me. It shows no signs of an issue. So it was just the settling tank that had to be swapped out and replaced with a 2-compartment tank.
Gotcha. And so because you had a 3-bedroom deed restriction and your system is probably 330 gallons or less per day right now, they were going to let you add another bedroom or 2 and just put a fresh deed restriction on the property.
I
that how it's
added
gonna
nothing,
be?
Mark. I have never exceeded 3 bedrooms. I used to have tiny bedrooms in the house itself.
Yeah.
Instead, I left 2 bedrooms, kind of expanded them. They're not big now, but I have 2 bedrooms in the house that will become the rental unit. And I put a bedroom in the barn.
Okay. And so when you create the dwelling unit, the space is already conditioned pretty much, or
It's already what?
it's already got heating and cooling in it and all that?
It has no cooling. Well, it has, every room has a Casablanca fan, but I'm not a big air conditioning person, period.
Okay.
Maybe as climate change progresses, I will change, but there's no cooling provided. But it has steam heat in the house. And honestly, I think it's more effective than the forced hot water that I had to put in the barn.
Gotcha. So Alec has provided us with a planner's report. And one of the things, as an education to the public, in the event that they ever see this recording, and that's something for a future discussion of our board, we're recording it. So one of the things we do with special permits is you have to satisfy special permit criteria, and you have to be, in general, you have to be on balance more of a benefit than a detriment to the community to get the special permit. Okay. And we have, I think we know with the Affordable Homes Act, which you almost complied with, but you had 50 square feet too much.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that the governor's office considers smaller dwellings attached to existing homes is a net benefit given our housing crisis that we're going through right now in Massachusetts. So that definitely works in favor of adding dwelling units to existing homes. And the fact that this dwelling unit is going to be almost 900 square feet, slightly more, it does help. It lends itself towards affordability in Boxborough because it's not very large. So that means that since you're single, maybe you move in there or you'd find another small family to move in. And that's a net benefit to the community. But Alec, do you want to just go run through your planner's report so we can have for the record the 7 criteria special permits?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. So without boring the room and the board with some of the details that have already been discussed, I'll just dive right into the real meat of it. Special permits in the town of Boxborough, regardless of whether they're for this special permit type or other special permit types, must meet the standard special permit criteria. There are no unique special permit criteria for this conversion type. So those are namely the social and community needs served by the proposal, a response to traffic flow and safety, adequacy of utilities and other public or private services, density of population, intensity of use and neighborhood character, impact on the natural environment, impact on health, and the potential fiscal impact of the special permit. Additionally, conversions of single-family dwellings into two-family dwellings in this district require compliance with Section 4.7 of the bylaw, which namely says that the structure either needs to maintain its character or, more specifically, it has to maintain the appearance of a single-family home. In this case, where the applicant has proposed no construction in tandem with the work, the assumption can be made that it'll maintain its appearance and sounds like even get a new paint job. Additionally, footnote 13 of the table of uses, which empowers this special permit and enables the board to consider this as a use change, requires that we do some calculations. You heard the applicant reference earlier the total gross floor area, and I've made some updates to a document on the side so I can speak to them more in depth, but the applicant has to have a minimum of an acre of land. In this case, the applicant has multiple acres of land, and both dwellings, the original and the proposed second dwelling, have to maintain at least 600 square feet. The applicant outright calls out that the second dwelling will have 994 square feet. And when you do some simple math, the applicant asked that I do the finished floor area in my calculations, which I have updated. I just need to call out real quick. So the applicant's primary dwelling now has 2,300 square feet. It will have 1,306 square feet afterwards. Further, in my planner's report, which is included in your packet and available to the public, I referenced a variety of different ways that they meet the requirements, namely that this won't increase traffic flow on an otherwise large enough roadway. One of our primary roadways, Liberty Square, more than 1 or 2 vehicle trips, I imagine, per day, perhaps 3 or 4 in a peak time for grocery trips. The municipal light plant, Littleton Electric, they responded back with no comments, so there's no concerns regarding the existing utilities. There is no expected impact or really recognizable impact when it comes to density, intensity, or neighborhood character. There's no anticipated impacts to the natural environment. And following formal approval, which it sounds like the applicant is squarely in line to receive, the Board of Health will be signing off on a new 2-compartment tank system. So they should be squared away and no impact to health. Ultimately, the tax category is what comes into play here, as well as the social and community needs served. So 2-family dwellings are taxed differently than single family. So we as a community will get a slightly larger assessment on it, as well as the applicant, as they said, will be able to stay in their own home, a great benefit to them as well. And additionally, and I thought this was relevant to note as we consider the social impacts here, social and community needs served. Over the last year, new home construction, or the last 5 years, new home construction has averaged more than $1 million per unit. And so what this ultimately does is it activates at least one new unit at a much more reasonable price for anyone to enter the market in. So it's making a step forward towards what I think we're feeling in Boxborough is quite expensive home prices. So there are application responses here. I do have a couple recommended conditions if we get to that point tonight, but I'll pause here in case the board has any questions for me in my analysis.
The only concern, and it's a pretty minor one, is whether what is needed for Jim Gariffi and his septic. Is he good? It's all set. We just got to get the final installer's as-built to him. And
Yes, to get a picture of it, I guess.
Okay. So, I mean, that to me is, that's it. And then the other thing is don't let the zoning bylaw interfere with your ability to get 2 doors out of the dwelling. Every dwelling, like in a 1 or 2 family dwelling, you got to have 2 ways out that are not through somebody else's dwelling. So
Yeah, that's what the building inspector came to check and assured himself was the case.
awesome.
Mhm.
Any comments from the board? This is pretty straightforward. I'm not hearing any comments, so I'm in favor of the petition. I think that on balance, we need more dwelling units statewide, and we need more affordable units in Boxborough, and smaller units equal more affordable units in their own way. So,
Mr. Chairman, I would just note that I think the state had a great idea. I think it's a lot more practicable downtown where you have public sewer systems. This whole septic issue for some people is going to be a non-starter, I think.
And
It's
it
tough.
has been right along. I mean, that's ever since we passed an accessory dwelling unit bylaw, I forget what it was called back in the day, must have been 10 years ago. The impediment has always been a septic system. I mean, wasn't the size. And, I just I tag on to the end of this is we probably, we talked about it last night at the planning board, and we'll probably circle back and propose a zoning change, because now we realize that we can make a larger, what we had done was it last year, we had passed our own ADU bylaw that allowed for up to 1,200 square feet. But we were afraid to keep that number, given what the state had given us as their rule set. We didn't know whether we could exceed their 900 square feet. So we said, okay, let's adopt it, what the state gave us, which we did, and we all passed that last year. But now we've come to find out that other towns have increased that limit, given exactly the reasons that you're running into, Kathy, because it's real hard to, 900 is just this arbitrary number that I don't know where they found it, but the towns are allowed to increase it. So I would propose that we go back to our 1,200 square foot limit that we already voted into law, and then everything's kind of back the way we put it. So I think this is a no-brainer, and I'm sorry you had to go through all of it, Kathy, but the septic system, that's been there all along, and
Yeah.
it's not going anywhere until we change Title V. So
Mhm. Well, I mean, I'm glad I was the guinea pig or the trial
Yeah.
balloon or whatever, because, you know, we worked together on the planning board to come up with something we thought was going to work for people. And I stumbled over the stumbling blocks, got lucky because of past, you know.
yeah, you're lucky because you're grandfathered, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not my
Well,
first
that's-
choice. My first choice would be the ADU, but it's a fallback that puts me in a position to proceed with your blessing. So,
Well, we're getting a little far afield of the special permit, but since everyone else has, I'm going to too, and say that it's definitely a good idea, I think, to increase the two-family age of the house so that it's can be utilized by more homes too. So if you don't do an ADU increase in square footage, allow for a special permit for a duplex, I think might be beneficial in general too for people who want to just have, you know, any age house. You don't have to be a house that was built prior to 1960 or whatever our bylaw specifies.
But you're still going to have those septic requirements. That's the problem.
The septic requirements are going to quash everything. There's no question about it. It's just too much. The state has to do something about that.
Yep.
But anyway, does anybody have, Alec, why don't you run through your conditions, proposed conditions before we talk about voting?
Absolutely. One of them is going to need really direct weigh-in. Otherwise, it's our pretty standard set. Where there isn't construction proposed, I've tied recording of the decision to prior to lease or sale of the second dwelling. So Kathy, she'll just come in, let us know when she gets that recorded. I didn't want to put it on a shot clock because the applicant does have an inherent right to take a certain amount of time to record their decision, but this way she can just pace it out for when she does have a tenant, when she wants to bring them in. But record the decision, provide proof back to the department. I'll note condition number 2 is something they actually picked up last night at the planning board scale, and that I've reworded ever so slightly. But it was given to us by Special Land Use Council last night as a cautionary condition, effectively protecting you, the board, so that way if any application deviates from the assertions that are made either in the application itself or in the testimony that's given throughout the hearing, it'll be covered and it encompasses everything. So this will become, number 2 here, a standard slate condition that you'll see appear in all of your decisions moving forward, just as a protective measure for the town. And item number 3 here, which I do think bears discussion, is discussion around the lighting. So you did hear the applicant did testify here that the existing lighting is all down lighting. They're squared away. Full transparency, I did not make it out there to evaluate the lighting myself, so I can't speak to that. Of course, I trust Kathy. I trust her assertion here. If the board would feel more comfortable, we could include this condition here because section 6.4.8 is very clear in that two-family dwellings do need to have, or I should say special permit uses do need to have those down lighting. I could go out and do a simple inspection. Alternatively, the applicant's already testified to it here today. So you'd be perfectly safe and protected to simply strike this section. And if there was any ever question, you'd be protected under the testimony you received tonight. So I leave it to the board's discretion, but I drafted it in there before Kathy made her response. So happy to strike it if you prefer.
So, any questions, comments, concerns about the conditions that Alec is proposing? Sean?
Yeah, I would say to the extent that the board wants to include condition number 3, I think it should be just tweaked a little. I don't think we should be requiring the installation of exterior lighting. We should be talking about the conversion of existing lighting to dark sky compliant, or convert existing lighting
And
so
sure.
that it conforms with section 6.4.8. And I don't want, in 6 months when nobody remembers what happened here tonight, somebody saying, "Oh, you were supposed to install additional lighting."
Yes.
We
I-
could just
I
say
get it.
ensure, applicant shall ensure that all exterior lighting is
Consistent.
Compliant. Mm.
All right, good. You got it.
Cool. Any other questions or comments about conditioning a proposed approval of this project? I assume we're going to have the other boilerplate stuff in the decision, Alec. We have some other items too, right?
Yes, you'll see the typical trail of requirement for recordation, the ability to amend the permit if needed at the applicant's request, the statutory requirement to act within a certain period of time by recording the decision. All of that dovetail will be included at the back end as always.
Okay.
I will note that I brought my descriptive findings over from my narrative report, and I placed them in here. If you do agree with those could of course be the findings of your decision.
Is everybody comfortable with the findings?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody need any further information or discussion about this special permit?
No.
So, would someone like to make a motion to approve the special permit and authorize the chair to sign the decision when it's drafted?
So
How about a motion to close the public hearing, Mr. Chair?
Thank you.
we don't. Actually, it's funny. We learned last night that we don't have to close a public hearing necessarily if we make the motion to approve. We had this with council's advice last night.
Really?
If we make a motion to approve it, then it basically closes the hearing then and there. I like that too, because
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alec, am I correct in that statement?
In summation, it has the same effect.
Okay. Well, we have a motion on the floor to close the public hearing. Is there a second? Somebody. I'll second it. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Vote to close a public hearing. Sean McCormick,
McCormick, aye.
Dan Stuntz,
Stuns eye.
Michael Toops, Mark White.
White eye.
Toops abstained, and Mark Barbadoro, aye. Okay, so, all right, so, that was to close a public hearing. We're gonna do it the way we've always done it, because that's the way we were headed anyway, so.
Yeah.
Anybody want to approve the
Motion to
application
approve the decision
and authorize the chair?
and authorize the chair to sign it.
Is there a second?
McCormick, second.
Any discussion? So, Michael, I'm not sure if you got it all, but we're motion to approve and authorize the chair to sign. Just so you know what we're about to vote on. Okay, hearing no complaints, we've got a motion on the floor. Dan Stuntz,
Stuns eye.
Michael Toops,
Michael Toops, aye.
Sean McCormick,
McCormick, aye.
Mark White,
White eye.
and Mark Barbadoro, aye. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for giving us a schooling on duplexes.
Yep. Thank you
Thanks,
all,
Kathy.
and thank you to my neighbors who attended. I appreciate it. Thank
Good
you.
job on the 20-year odyssey.
Oh my God.
Congratulations, Kathy. It's
We'll see how
job well done.
successfully it proceeds from here. Alec, thank you as well.
Thank you, Kathy.
Have a good evening, guys.
Right.
Have a good evening.
Mhm.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is maybe, if we're lucky, the final rip and read of the Zoning Appeals Board rules and regulations. And there will be great rejoicing if we can approve them. I can tell you that. So I thought we were ready. It's not perfect, and we probably are going to need to swing back around, but I think we should probably do that with some checklists and some applications down the road, and then we can clean up the loose ends in the future. But I think it was the last opportunity for anybody that has any modifications that they'd like to make. How should we handle this meeting? You guys tell me.
So last time we talked about this, there was, I think it was just generally the consensus that we would have voted if we had had a full complement of longstanding members present.
Yep.
Yeah, and the last time I discussed it was before that, and we were waiting for Sean to weigh in. So you weighed in while I wasn't around, but I've had a chance to read it since you guys all did your thing to it. So I'm okay with it in its current form. I mean, this is a living document anyway. We can change this anytime we want. If we found we made a mistake, we just go back and fix it. It's not like it takes a vote at town meeting to change it. So it's better.
I think we did a really good job.
Well, I think you're responsible for most of that, Mark, but you know, we've been banging away at this for a year, so more.
Well, I got the framework started, but it was really the entire board's group effort. It was, you know, it's a great document. So I'm proud of it, even though I know it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So, anybody want to make a motion to approve the revised rules and regs as amended?
Move to approve the revised rules and regs as amended. Michael Toops. Get this off the table.
Second.
Yes. All right. Moved by Mike, second by Mark. Any discussion? Hearing none. Dan Stunts.
Stunts aye.
Michael Toops.
Michael Toops, aye.
Mark White.
White eye.
Sean McCormick.
McCormick, aye.
Awesome.
Wow.
So, our next meeting, do we have something coming up, Alec?
Yes, I don't have the meeting date offhand. My apologies. But Mary has confirmed attendance for an additional
February
permit
3rd.
application we did receive. Yes, February 3rd sounds right.
There's
Okay.
February 3rd. Is there another date on the calendar or just Feb 3rd?
I believe February 3rd is the only meeting upcoming. We may have another application in the pipeline. You've actually gotten pretty busy to kick off the year. So we might have an additional meeting date or at least a question coming up. But as of right now, February 3rd is your next meeting.
So we might have 12 meetings in 1 year. That'd be, I don't know if I can handle the workload, the humanity. Okay. So is everybody going to be able to make the next meeting? I think we responded by emails, if I recall, but so we'll be ready to go. Awesome. All right. There is an item that did not make it to the agenda, and Alec is going to send out an email to the group, if that's okay, Alec, to discuss what we're going to do with all of our tape recordings. And so we have 6 months or so's worth of recorded meetings. So it's something we can't discuss because it is not on the agenda. But we will, you guys can discuss and be ready for a vote at our next meeting with what we're going to do. Awesome. This is not coming from me either, by the way, just so everybody knows. It's not me wanting to be in the limelight. So, anyway. All right. Is there any other new business or correspondence, Alec, that you're aware of?
Nothing at this time.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Okay. Motion by Mark, seconded by Sean. Any discussion? Hearing none. Sean McCormick.
McCormick, aye.
Mark White.
White eye.
Michael Toops.
Michael Toops, aye.
Dan Stunts.
Stunts aye.
And Mark Barbadoro, aye. Happy New Year's.
Happy New
See you
Year.
guys later.
Good start.
Have a good night, everybody.